Good evening, girls, gays, and theys. It is I, Annalyn, here to talk about something that has been on my mind for the past hour. If for any reason you're watching these in order, I went into a bit of a ramble in the last video, and it lasted for around 20 minutes, because I was just so distraught that I couldn't talk about it, but I wanted to make a more concise, consistently talking, because there were a lot of pauses in that video. But let's talk. I want to talk about, I don't know if this is too loud, but I'm listening to Lana. Love Lana, and love being heartbroken. I wanted to talk about being ugly, growing up ugly. I mean, before I was talking about the concept of womanhood, I didn't really get in depth because I ended up getting emotional and I couldn't speak. So let's not dive into that too much. But listen, I'm not here to fish for compliments. If you're Mercedes or Jeremiah or any of my family members who has access to my Mac at any time and you're watching this, I'm not fishing for compliments. Don't tell me that I'm beautiful. I don't care. Nothing you can say could change how I feel, because you could say that I'm beautiful. You could believe it with your whole heart. But that's not what I see in society. The way that I'm treated because of what I look like is very, very differently from how you think that I am treated. And, you know, especially if you're Mercedes and Jeremiah, not to be like, I'm going through worse, but I think it's very different. You know, and I hope that instead of coming to conclusions and, you know, telling me that I'm beautiful, that you'll actually hear me out and listen to me, because it's different. You know, I've grown up this way. I've grown up fat. I've grown up a woman. Two things that Mercedes can't relate to being fat unless she was like little, but being fat in middle school, high school, that's different. Jeremiah can relate to being fat growing up to around high school. He can't relate to that anymore. So just hear me out, right? Because this is a 2023 thing. Yes, I've gone through it my entire life, but it has come to a much more it came to a much more bigger degree now that I'm a uni student and I have to go out into the world every day. You know, at school we were kind of like in the cesspool of people we've already known, so it doesn't matter what people think because they grow up and you probably see their cringe as much as they see yours. But in the big wide world of university, it's different. And none of you can relate to that yet. And I actually hope you don't ever relate to it. I mean, go to university if you want, but I hope that you guys aren't treated as unfairly as I have been, simply because I look the way I do. I'm actually thinking of dyeing my hair back to black because I've gotten a lot of weird looks. Not that I care. Actually, I kind of do, because it's kind of weird. It's kind of difficult not to care if everyone around you is a bit... Your hair is dyed weird, you know? And I might come back to it, but right now I just can't deal with the amount of weird looks I get. So, I was talking to Mercedes about this a few weeks ago, I think, maybe a month ago, where I was like, I wish that I had the chance to go through a high school romance. And she was like, no, you don't. But I do. And the reason why is because I feel like every other girl has gone through it. I feel like I've missed out on something. And though all of you might think, you want to miss out on it, like it was traumatizing. It's like, yeah, but you know what's more traumatizing? Growing up thinking that you're ugly, and so ugly that no one ever wants to date you. That's traumatizing. And I would rather be traumatized by a man than be traumatized by everyone. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm sorry. But I haven't gone through being loved like that. Like, I haven't had a serious relationship, and I feel like I'm missing out on something. You know, everyone speaks so highly about love and how it's a part of life, but it's a part of life that I have not unlocked, and it feels sad. You know, and I mean, I have my friends, but I don't have them all the time. I have myself all the time, I guess. I mean, I probably won't have my boyfriend all the time either, but you know, it's kind of weird being treated differently just because of what I look like, because of the body that my mother gave me. And people would say, why don't you just get skinnier? Why? Okay, sure, yeah. That would probably be the fix, right? But why should I have to get skinny? Why do I have to change the way I look to be treated kindly? Like, I do not understand how bullshit it is. You know, people are like, well, if you have a problem, fix it. It's like, yeah, but the way I look isn't a problem. The way you're treating me is the fucking problem. But no one seems to understand that. You know? And it really riles me up. But I do wish I looked different. I mean, when Jeremiah became skinny, you know, I don't dare tell Jeremiah this, but when he became skinny, you know, he got mixed reactions. Some people were like, oh my god, slay! And some people were like, are you eating, girl? Like, are you know? So he got mixed reactions, right? Which is a problem in itself, because, you know, people automatically think that they have every right to comment on how you look when you look different. Like, why? Unless you have a good thing to say, like, girl, you look good. Like, just shut the fuck up. Like, why comment if it's not a good one? But people will comment. But what I'm gonna talk about is when he became skinnier. Like I said, I don't dare tell Jeremiah this. He'd have to find this shit out on his own, because I would never tell him this. People looked at me strange. You know, they were like, oh, Jeremiah got skinny. What happened to you? And it's like, oh, okay. Did you think that if Jeremiah got skinny, I'd get skinny too? That's not how it works, Miss Girl. But what's even worse is, why do I have to get skinny? You know, because if I got skinny but Jeremiah didn't, no one would be telling Jeremiah, oh, you have to get skinny too. No one would tell him that. They tell me that because I'm a girl, and girls are supposed to be skinny. Guys can be whatever size they want to be. And like I said, that's not Jeremiah's fault. But it's so... It is so draining to constantly be expected to look a certain way at all times. You know? Like... And let's not start with what Brandon did. You know, I don't know, man. Like, it's like people love to judge me based on what I look like rather than my actual character. People think, oh, she's cringe. Oh, she's... Even Brandon called me cringe. Out of all fucking people, Brandon calls me cringe. Brandon calls me cringe. What about you, bro? Don't ever comment on me again, because nothing that I've done would ever amount to the fucking cringe that you did back in middle school. But it's okay if Brandon is cringe, because he's a boy. It really rubs me up the wrong way. And my anger is not placed on Brandon. It's placed on the fact that he's a male. Because if Brandon is cringe, yeah, okay, that's just Brandon. But if Annalyn is cringe, ew, you're a girl. You should, you know, act like a woman. It's like, how is a woman supposed to act? What, do you want me to, like, run to the kitchen and wash some fucking dishes? Do you want me to iron your white shirts? What do you want me to do? I'm literally just existing, and I never asked to be a woman. And I'm not saying that I don't want to be one, because I love being a woman. I do. But I also don't. And it's not because of being a woman itself, it's just because of how everyone else treats me. You know, I'm ugly. Let me just put it out there. And I don't care what you think. In society, I am ugly. I am the girl no one talks to. I am the girl that you don't give 2 fucks about on the bus. I don't get any looks back. I don't get any DMs, you know? I am ugly. In the face of society, I am ugly. Full stop. And the only reason why you may think that I'm beautiful is because you know me personally. But this isn't what we're talking about. I'm talking about in general, in the outside world. Who do you think people are gonna talk to? Me? Someone who looks like me? Or someone who looks like Mercedes? Because let me tell you, it's probably Mercedes. I'm going to be honest with you. No one cares unless you are beautiful enough to them for them to care about you. No one cares about your character until you show it to them. And the thing is that you have to impress them by how you look before you show your personality. You know, the front cover of my book is boring, but inside is probably the best story they've ever read. No one would pick up a boring book that looks boring on the outside. No one would even look at the summary if the book bind looks boring. And I am a boring book in this huge library of humans. I'm saying. It sucks. Because I know that I'm worth more than this. But it's really difficult to believe that when everyone makes you believe that you're worthless. Oh, but Annalyn, how about just not caring about how you look and care about something that's useful? But looks are everything. This society looks at everything. No one cares about your fucking character. No one cares about how you are. Your personality. No one cares about that. No one. It fucking sucks. Good night.